Josiah starts us off in Missoula, Montana. What's up, Josiah?
Hey, doing real well. Saved and born again, heaven bound.
I love it. Life's good in your family. Yeah, cool. How can I help?
Yeah, I am a owner-operator of a small hot tub business, do repairs and water maintenance, and looking to see what is kind of some key clues, if you will, of when I should be hiring my first employee, financially, time-wise, that kind of thing, and then how is the best way to go about doing that to get somebody in that seat that can serve the company well.
Wow. That is the first employee you hire, the first team member you hire, is by far, exponentially, the hardest team member you will ever hire. It's hard because emotionally, you're accepting the responsibility for this person and their family. You are trusting your brand, your reputation with your customers, your relationships to someone else for the first time. It's like your teenager got their license and leave home in the family car. It scares the crap out of you, and it's very hard. It's also hard financially to figure out when to do it and how to do it with the math, which is also what you're asking about. And so I don't want to understate that this is hard. This is a difficult thing you're asking. It sounds very simple. It sounds very primitive in business, but I got to tell you, it's hiring. I've got 1,100 people. Hiring the 1,100th, I didn't even notice. The first one, right. I couldn't sleep. I mean, it was like I was so worried. So here's the deal. Number one, we're going to look at this as a leader pulls, a boss pushes. And your job as a leader is to serve. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to get my head around my job if I bring someone on is I have to be able to keep my word. I have to pay them what I said I would pay them. And I have to have set my business up in such a way that it will do that. My integrity is on the line to that employee, to that team member. I have to be able to do that. That's the first thing I'm going to get out of the way. Now, and so that means that you have to have enough hot tubs to keep clean, enough people on your route, so to speak, enough people subscribed to your service that you can't get the work done. Because as long as you can get the work done, you can't financially justify someone else.
Okay.
So because right now you're a solopreneur, we call it. You're out there, you are the business. You're the CEO, the chief everything officer. So what I need to be so busy with actually maybe even some clients in queue, in line on the waiting list that I can't get to. And then maybe I raise my prices and do it again and just really, I really want this thing super profitable, super busy, super prosperous to where when someone steps in to pick it up, it's a no-brainer that there's plenty of work for them to do. Thus, I'm going to have plenty of money to pay them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't hire someone hoping they're going to do enough work to justify themselves. You need to have so much work stacked up that they walk into this like a hot knife through butter. And too many times in business, we think if we hire someone, the business will come. No, dude, you got to go get the business and then you hire someone. And so that will take a lot of the stress out of it. And then that leaves you only with the last piece of stress, which is training them to do it the Josiah way, not the guy's way that you hired. And so this is how we do it at my company. I know they may have done it another way at another company, or I know you may have never done this before, but this is how we treat customers. This is how when we're going to someone's home, how we act. Here's how we address the lady of the house. Here's how we address the gentleman of the house. Here's how we bill. We put on the little paper booties if we're walking through their home. Whatever the thing is that you do that makes people very glad they have Josiah doing this, we show up on time. We do what we're supposed to do. That when we leave, the equipment is running perfectly. We never charge people for repairs that weren't done. We have integrity. You have to talk through things that to you are obvious, but to someone else is training them the Josiah way. And then you can begin to turn over your reputation, your brand, to someone else's work, and then you got to check on them, and you got to call the customer and go, hey, Henry was over there today. How did Henry do? Is everything okay? I just want to follow up. I'm new at this. It's my first team member. I'm a little nervous. I want to make sure you're being taken care of, Mr. and Miss Smith. And you follow up on the customer service side and make really, really sure they are doing a great job and push them all the way through that way. But I think it's good to say out loud again, for your sake and for everyone out there that's thinking about hiring their first team member, mathematically, financially, emotionally, brand, all of these make the first team member you hire the most difficult exponentially. It scares the crap out of you. And if it doesn't, you're not wise. Because what you're saying, if you're a little bit scared about it, is you're saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna step into the unknown. I'm gonna go learn how to do this. But until I've actually hired someone, successfully trained them, made them a part of this, and made payroll and paid them properly, I haven't proven to myself or them that this can be done. And I'll give you an example of this, Josiah, that for the first 50 people or so we hired, and really even past that, people would ask the question sometimes in the interview, because I was the brand in those days. I was the only thing creating revenue, Dave Ramsey. The Dave Ramsey Show, the Dave Ramsey books, the Dave Ramsey speaking, all of those kinds of things was creating all the revenue back then. And people would ask, well, what happens if Dave dies? And our answer was truthful. You're screwed. This place is going to fold up like yesterday's Walmart tent if Dave dies, because I'm the source of all the revenue. So you got to be honest with them. And people would say stuff like, we had 10 team members. What are your benefits? Your check clears. That's your benefits. We don't have benefits. What do you mean benefits? Benefits are you got a job. That's your benefit. Benefits are you actually work with somebody that knows your name. Benefits are you're working with family that cares about you. But if you want corporate benefits, you need to go get screwed by corporate America, because we're small business people. We don't have big benefits. That was in the old days. Now, today, I got a pretty good benefits package if you work here. Okay, we've got like 401ks and matching and PTO and all this other crap around here. All these things that people pile up. We get them all kinds of insurance. We got all kinds of stuff for people. But in the old days, it was like, what are the benefits? And what happens if Dave dies? And you just got to be honest, in other words. And so, Josiah, you're hiring your first guy, and he goes, hey, tell me about your leadership style. And you're going, clueless, because I've never done it before. But we're going to figure it out together, and I'm always going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to love you, and I'm going to take care of you as best as we have money coming in, and just be honest, be authentic. And that's so freaking refreshing, instead of somebody posturing and strutting around like they know what they're doing when everybody in the room but them knows that they don't know. And so go ahead and just say what it is. Say it out loud. And when our kids were teenagers years ago, they had this thing. They would do their hands with I can't even remember how they did it. Their hands with their how you do it? Thank you. I can't even do it. That's it. No, he's backwards. Okay. Where your thumbs come out, anyway, it's awkward turtle, right? They would say awkward turtle, like a turtle's over on its back. So what is this? Awkward turtle is me trying to do this thing and I can't do it right now. But, so, there it is. I got it. Woo! Okay. All right. Thanks. I got all kinds of guys in the booth showing me how to do this crap. And I'm 4 years old and can't do it. But awkward turtle is, we're going to have an awkward conversation. So let's just say it out loud. It's awkward. I'm insecure about hiring someone new because I've never hired anyone. You may be better at interviewing than I am at interviewing, because you may have been hired more than one place. You're my first team member if I hire you. It's okay to say all that. If that runs them off, then they didn't need to be coming in, because they thought because that's who you are. You're a one-man band. And you're getting ready to turn over some of the instruments to the other guy, and you're going to play the rest of the instruments in the band. But wow. And I did that. I told people, I said, number one, this place is going to fold up like Walmart tent. Number two, if I die, number two, I don't know what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm helping people. In your case, Josiah, we are one of the best companies that cares the most about its customers, the quality of the water in their hot tub, make sure it's properly, the chemicals are properly balanced, the cleaning is properly done, any repairs are properly done. Our customers don't have to worry. We know how to do that. We're really good at that. And what we need to do is more of that. And can you help us? Do you want to come on board? And if you do, you're going to participate in the growth of this company. We're always going to be generous to you. We're always going to be kind to you. And we're always going to tell you the truth. Nobody's going to yell at you or cuss at you here. And this is what we're doing. So come on, let's go get some work done. And that's how we did it, just being very, very, very authentic in the process. That's the thing. So that's how it works. Your first hire is your hardest. Your second is your next hardest. Your third is your next hardest. And really, until you get up above 50 or 60 people and you start hiring some C-suite level executives, it doesn't really get hard again. And it gets easier and easier and easier. Oh, and by the way, first time you fire someone, that's the hardest. First time someone that you really counted on, that you really love, quit, and it hurts your feelings, that one's the hardest. The 1,000th that quits, oh well,